The Vatican Secret Archives contain 53 miles of shelving. Official tours show you old Bibles and letters from kings, but they never show you the Vault of Shadows. Rumors have existed since the 1950s that a Benedictine monk named Father Ernetti built a device called the Chronovisor, a camera that could photograph the past. The church claims it was a hoax. It wasn't. They didn't dismantle it because it didn't work. They dismantled it because it showed them a history that would destroy religion itself. Part 1. The Forbidden Shelf. Location: the Vatican Secret Archives, Rome, October 3, 2024. Father Marcus Valeri was an archivist, not a thief. But after finding a discrepancy in the blueprint of the archive's basement, curiosity got the better of him. Behind a false wall in the section reserved for heretical texts, he found an elevator that operated on a pneumatic vacuum system, technology far too advanced for the Renaissance era it was hidden in. He took the elevator down. It didn't stop at the basement. It went deeper, into the ancient catacombs beneath Rome. When the doors opened, he wasn't in a dusty tomb. He was in a cold, sterile chamber. In the center sat a device that looked like a mix of a church organ and a cockpit. It was made of brass, copper, and strange glowing crystal tubes. A plaque on the device read, "Chronovisor, Project Ernetti, 1956. Part 2. The Crucifixion Glitch. Marcus knew the legends. Father Ernetti claimed he had used this machine to photograph the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Marcus sat in the chair. He put on the heavy headset, which smelled of ozone and incense. He adjusted the dials to the date, 33 AD, Jerusalem. The visor flickered. Static filled his eyes. Then the image cleared. He saw Golgotha. He saw the hill. He saw the crosses. It was hyper-realistic, like watching a 4K movie. But then he saw the sky. Above the cross, the sky wasn't blue. It was filled with geometric shapes, massive floating pyramids made of chrome. And the people in the crowd, they weren't just watching. Some of them were holding objects that looked suspiciously like tablets or data pads. "It's not a miracle," Marcus whispered, trembling. "It was an extraction." As he watched, a beam of light didn't descend from heaven. It descended from one of the ships. It wasn't divine light. It was a tractor beam. The Chronovisor wasn't just showing the past. It was showing the uncensored past.
Part 3. The Jesuit Guard. Suddenly, the machine powered down. The lights in the chamber turned red. Unauthorized access detected. The elevator doors hissed open behind him. 2 men entered. They wore the colorful uniforms of the Swiss Guard, but they carried suppressed P-90 submachine guns instead of halberds. These were the Sol Invictus, the Pope's personal wet-work squad. "Father Valeri," the lead guard said calmly, "you have seen the raw footage. That is unfortunate." "It was aliens," Marcus stammered, backing away. "The angels, they were ships. Religion, it's all a cargo cult." "Religion is order, Father," the guard said, raising his weapon. "And truth is chaos. We cannot let you spread chaos." Marcus threw a heavy brass canister at them and dove behind the chronovisor. Bullets sparked against the ancient machine. Part 4. The Loophole. Marcus knew he couldn't outgun them, but he was sitting in a machine that manipulated time frequencies.
He looked at the control panel. There was a lever marked Resonance Overload. Ernetti's notes warned that pulling it would create a temporal EMP, a localized time distortion. "Forgive me," Marcus whispered. He pulled the lever. A shockwave of silent energy exploded from the machine. It didn't blow up the room, it froze it. The Swiss guards froze in mid-step. The bullets they fired hung suspended in the air like angry hornets. The dust mote stopped dancing. Time had stopped in the chamber. But Marcus, holding the grounding rod of the machine, was still moving. He had minutes before the distortion field collapsed. He didn't run for the elevator. He ran for the evidence locker on the wall. He grabbed the reel of film labeled the Nazareth event and a small glowing shard from the machine's core. Part 5. The Escape. Marcus sprinted past the frozen guards, weaving through the suspended bullets. He climbed the emergency ladder, his lungs burning, carrying the weight of the world's biggest lie in his pocket. He burst out into the cool night air of the Vatican gardens. The dome of St. Peter's Basilica loomed above him, majestic and terrible. Behind him, deep underground, the time distortion collapsed. The explosion rocked the ground. Alarms began to ring across the entire city-state. Marcus blended into a group of tourists leaving the square. He clutched the film reel to his chest. He was no longer a priest. He was the most wanted man on earth. Epilogue. The Disclosure. Date: present day. Location: an internet cafe in Seoul, Korea. A user named V12 Watcher logged on to a dark web forum. He inserted a digital scan of a single frame from the film reel. The image was grainy, but undeniable. It showed a Roman centurion, but under his helmet, his eyes were glowing red, and in the sky above him, a metallic saucer blocked out the sun. The user typed a caption: "They didn't come to save us, they came to harvest us, and they are coming back." He hit upload. Across the world, thousands of screens flickered. The file began to spread. The Shadow Dossier was open. File V12 closed.